The dim glow of the lantern and the dusty trail saloon cast long shadows across the wooden floor as Tom Harlan leveled his revolver at Luke Caldwell's chest. The gunshot echoed like a crack of thunder, and Luke felt the impact like a mule's kick, dropping him to one knee amid the sawdust and spilled whiskey. Through the fog of agony, he heard her cry out his name. Sophia burst through the batwing doors, her satchel of herbs and bandages clutched tight, her dark eyes fierce with determination. "Perfect," Tom snarled, swinging his barrel toward her. "Now I can end you both." Luke tried to stand, but his legs betrayed him. Could a man who'd survived the Battle of Gettysburg, who'd laid his first wife to rest with quiet grace, who'd never flinched from a fight, could he pull through this? And could a love born in the fires of rebellion stand against an entire town's scorn? 6 months earlier, Luke Caldwell was a pillar of Willow Creek, Texas, a man defined by his steady hand, his unbreakable word, and his knack for steering clear of other folks' messes. At 52, he owned 3,000 acres of prime ranch land along the Brazos River, ran a crew of 10 hands, and hadn't skipped a church service in 15 years. The locals respected him. The bank extended him credit without question, and no woman had warmed his bed since Emily passed from fever 4 years back. That all changed when Sophia Ramirez showed up his gate one dusty October afternoon, leading a swayback gelding with a brand he didn't recognize. She was dust-streaked and desperate, her faded shawl draped over a figure that could turn heads in any saloon. When she pushed back her hood, revealing a cascade of raven hair, Luke felt a spark he thought long extinguished. "Mr. Caldwell," she said, her voice laced with fatigue and a soft Spanish lilt. "I need work, and a safe place." Luke eyed her warily, maybe 26, hands rough from hard living but graceful, a faint scar on her cheek speaking of troubles past. "Running from trouble?" he asked. "My husband," she replied, the word hanging heavy like storm clouds. Luke's face hardened. He'd sworn off meddling in marital spats. But something in her hazel, Aisa mix of fire and fragility reminded him of the wild broncos he'd tamed on these plains. "Can you cook?" he finally grunted. "Better than anyone in these parts. Clean, spotless as a Sunday best. And when your man comes hunting..." Sophia's hand drifted to the sheath at her belt, revealing a slim dagger with an ivory grip. "He'll regret it. You put her on that day." For weeks, they orbited each other like wary wolves, Sophia proving her worth in the kitchen with spicy stews that had his men raving, scrubbing the ranch house till it gleamed, mending his work shirts with neat stitches. But it was the little things that chipped away at his resolve. Her soft humming of old border ballads while churning butter, the way she'd pause to watch the sun dip behind the hills, her face alight with quiet yearning. One night, he caught her staring out the window, silent tears tracing her cheeks, her fingers tracing faded bruises. He feigned ignorance at first. "Why the tears?" he asked one evening, surprising himself with the Spanish he'd picked up from trail drives. Sophia looked up from patching his jeans, eyes glistening. "I cry for what I once had happiness." That's when Luke made his first slip. He wiped a tear from her face with his calloused thumb. Her breath hitched, lips parting, and for a heartbeat, the decades between them dissolved. And she pulled back, flushing. "Forgive me, sir. I shouldn't know," Luke said softly. "You shouldn't." But the seed was planted. From then on, the air hummed with tension. Sophia would brush against him, reaching for a shelf, her hip grazing his. Luke found reasons to linger in the kitchen, inhaling her scent of cinnamon and sage. Their hands would touch passing plates, sparks flying like flint on steel. The pressure built until the night her husband came calling. Luke was bedding down the horses when her scream pierced the night. He bolted to the house, 6-shooter drawn, finding Sophia cornered by a gaunt, scar-faced man reeking of cheap tequila. "Luis Ramirez," he hissed, "my wife. Time to come home." "Never," Sophia whispered. Luis grinned, teeth flashing like a predator's. "The last fool who kept you from me ended up coyote bait." Luke stepped from his shadows, gun steady. The lady said no. Luis sized him up. Luke's graying temples, his unyielding stance. "You're too old for this, gringo. Back off." "Can't." The showdown lasted seconds. Luis drew first, quick as a viper, but Luke hadn't outlived cattle wars and Comanche raids by being slow. His shot dropped Luis clean, a hole through the heart. Sophia stared at the body, then at Luke, eyes wide with shock and relief. "You killed him." "Had to. His kin will come. They don't forget blood debts." That night, as they buried Luis in the scrubland behind the barn, Sophia spilled her story. Sold to him at 16 to settle family debts, enduring years of beatings before fleeing on a stolen horse, riding 2 days straight. "Why my spread?" Luke asked about the fresh dirt. Heard tales of the rancher who fought fair in the war, treated his Mexican hands right, never cheated or preyed on the weak. She met his gaze in the moonlight. "I prayed for mercy from such a man." Sophia stepped close, her warmth cutting the chill. "Now I think fate had other plans." Luke's walls crumbled. He'd held firm for months, but with death fresh and desire raging, honor felt like chains. "Sophia," he rasped, "I'm old enough to be your pa, but you're not." Her hand pressed his chest. "You're the man who saved me, who makes me feel whole. The town will talk. Let them rot." She rose on tiptoes, lips brushing his. "Kiss me, Luke Caldwell, before we burn up inside." He did. It started tender, but Sophia unleashed a storm arms around his neck, body molding to his. Luke drowned in her taste, her fire melting years of solitude. They stumbled to his room, clothes shedding like old skin. Sophia's form in the lamplight was a vision golden skin marked by survival scars. His hands trembled, tracing her curves, her breasts, her hips. "We should stop," he murmured. "For once," she whispered, unbuttoning his shirt. "Just feel." He did her hair like silk, her gasps as he kissed her neck, her touch reverent on his battle scars. They joined with urgent passion, Sophia fierce and unyielding, nails digging as she cried his name. Luke gave all loneliness, grief, and restraint shattering. After, tangled in sheets, she asked, "What now?" Luke stroked her back. "We face it together. If the town turns, we move on. If his kin come, I'll handle them." Sophia lifted her head. "You give it all up?" "This was just waiting to die. You woke me up." Word spread like wildfire in Willow Creek. By Sunday, whispers flew. Luke Caldwell shacked up with a young Mexican gal, half his age. By afternoon, she was branded a killer's widow. By evening, the town buzzed with judgment. Luke felt the glares riding in for supplies, Sophia beside him on the buckboard. "Harlot," muttered Clara Jenkins from the general store. "Cradle snatcher," grumbled Hank Dawson outside the feed mill. "Shame on you," called Widow Ellis. Poor Emily turning in her grave. Luke's knuckles whitened on the reins, but Sophia touched his arm. "Words are wind." But words stung. Commerce cattle buyers vanished. The bank tightened loans, 2 hands quick cold. "Maybe they're right," Sophia said by the fire one night, guilt etching her face. "I should go." "No," Luke growled. "You're my heart now." Tears welled. "I love you too more than life." Then the bullets flew. The first shattered the parlor window. The second splintered the door as Luke grabbed his rifle. Sophia dove behind the table, clutching a pocket pistol he'd given her. "Caldwell," a voice bellowed outside, thick with accent and fury. "You murder my brother." "3 of them," Luke muttered, peering out. "Maybe more." Sophia paled. "Diego Luis's elder. Meaner than a rattlesnake." "Come out, coward!" Diego roared. "Stay down," Luke ordered, slipping out the back. He knew his land like his scars, every gully, every boulder. The fight was savage. Luke dropped Diego with 2 shots, felled young Pablo with another. But cousin Raul winged him in the side, spinning him. As Raul turned on, Sophia, bursting from the house, fired twice, dropping him dead. In the hush, Luke clutched his wound, staring at his savior. "It's done," she said calmly. But dawn brought the town, Sheriff Boone, Mayor Harlan, Pastor Reed, and a posse eyeing 4 dead Ramirez kin. "Self-defense," Luke stated. "They came for my woman." "Your woman?" Mayor Harlan sneered. "A man your age with that girl? Disgraceful." "Watch your mouth," Luke warned, hand on his holster. Sophia stepped forward, chin high. "I'm Sophia Ramirez, wed to Luis, who beat me like a dog. I fled. This man sheltered me. When his family sought revenge, we defended ourselves." She scanned the crowd. "If loving a good man damns me, I'll face God, not you." Pastor Reed stammered. "The good book says, it also says judge not." Sophia cut in. Silence fell. Sheriff Boone sighed. "No crime in protecting your own. But this town's boiling over." "Then we'll find another," Luke said, arm around her. 3 weeks on, Luke stood in the dusty trail with a deed in pocket, sold the ranch to an oil outfit from Houston. Cash enough for a fresh start where stairs wouldn't follow. "Sure about this?" Boone asked over whiskey. "A shootin'," but trouble brewed. Mayor Harlan's son Tom sauntered in, eyes blazing hate. He'd spewed venom about Sophia for weeks. "Looky here," Tom slurred, "the town's dirty old man and his border tramp." The salon froze. "Don't," Boone warned. "I'm done watching this mockery." Tom spat, hand twitching. Luke moved, but Tom drew faster. A shot slammed his chest. As Luke crumpled, Sophia rushed in. Medical kit reddish, learned healing from her abuela. Tom whirled. "Now for you." Boone's bullet felled Tom between the shoulders. Kneeling by Luke, Sophia probed the wound. Bullets deep, near the heart. She worked feverishly, mixing salves, stitching amid his haze. "Don't die," she hissed. "Not now." In a lucid moment, he gasped, "Deed. Sold the ranch." Her eyes widened. "For us. New life." Then she stood, facing the gawking crowd. "Hear me. I'm Sophia Ramirez Caldwell. We wed this morning at the Mission Chapel." Gasps rippled. Luke blinked in shock. "Father Ortiz married us. I'm his wife before God and law. Speak against that to my face." Her hand on the pistol, memories of Raul fresh. Boone nodded. "That changes things." Widow Ellis stepped up first. "Congratulations, Mrs. Caldwell. Others follow, not all, but enough." The tide turned. Months later, Luke healed enough to travel. They loaded the wagon and headed west to California valleys, where vineyards sprawled and pastures faded. But Willow Creek had softened. Sophia's healing saved lives. Her stand won respect. "You could stay," Boone said as they rolled out. "Folks are coming around." "No," Luke replied, holding Sophia. "We've earned our peace." She smiled. "Home's wherever we are, my love." As the wagon vanished into the horizon, love triumphed over hate. What do you think about Luke and Sophia's story? Was their age difference a deal breaker? Or did love conquer all? Share your take in the comments. Agree, disagree, or spill your thoughts. I'd love to hear your stance.